You would have been attending several interviews. You would have got rejected, not knowing how to move further. Splash of water. Water is there on the other side, but still you are not able to quench your thirst. You must be wondering, what are you speaking about? Water, interview, what is the relation? Only if you watch this video, you will understand what I'm trying to give here. You would have been learning English for a very long time. Even if you're not a beginner, you know words, you know sentences, you've been writing down idioms and phrases, but you're not able to articulate your thoughts during an interview while giving your self-introduction. Even when you take classes, you're not able to teach the same portion that you have been dealing with for almost 20 years. And that is because you have left somewhere. What have you left? You have left at a particular point. Something you have forgotten. You have been carrying something for a long time, and that a useful thing, and this baggage. So you have left this beautiful bundle of creativity and skills somewhere. So we have to retrace that. I'm going to help you do that. It's not because you're not having the language skills. It's not because you don't have the communication skills, because you have been taking so many sessions, and if you have been working on yourself for a long time, then it's high time that you experience the progress. Welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Renee Rose Matthew. I'm a CELTA certified tutor. So you're watching another video, but remember there are more useful videos on my channel. Do the activities, follow the guidelines, and definitely you're going to progress in no time. So let's go to today's topic. You may feel stuck. You may also all of a sudden doubt your confidence. Some people also doubt the methodology, even after progressing for some time. Why you were not able to crack that interview, even after working with a company for a long time, or even after working on a language or on a particular topic, why you are not able to move forward. Some people tell me that I've been working in this industry for almost 10 to 15 years, but still I'm not able to move forward. I'm getting stuck. So have you ever felt stuck even after having some experience? Even after demonstrating and exhibiting your skills to an extent, though not to a larger extent. So this is a problem faced by many people, and this is for you. Before I begin today's video, I would like to share something with you. Do you remember a few days back, I shared a video where you listened to a story, and after that I asked you to make some sentences based on the context, based on the story. So you looked at the words and you were asked to make some sentences connecting to the story. Of course, that helps with language skills, vocabulary, and sentence formation. Now you may think, what is the use of listening to stories and what is the use of making sentences? I have to crack this interview. I have to prepare for the competitive examination. I have to speak to my CEO. What is the use of just listening to stories? It has got benefit, and you will understand this better. So before I go to today's video, you have to listen to this story, and after that I'll tell you what is to be done. Because daily life activities, routine, the verbs that is used in a story, the phrases, the words along with the verbs, everything will help you to introduce yourself. Because many of you tell me that I know everything about myself. How can I doubt what I know? I know about my qualification. I've come this far. But when it comes to an interview panel, when I face them, I feel like fainting. I become so nervous and tensed. Even after working for 15 minutes, I'm not able to articulate my thoughts. That's not because you're not skilled. That's not because you're not learning the language. It is also not because you don't have the communication skills. It's only because you have forgotten something. You have left at that particular point. Which point you have to find out. At that point, you have left your learning journey consciously and also sometimes unwittingly, and that's okay. So listening to stories will help you to recycle and reuse some of the words. This will become clear when I demonstrate this. A man was walking in a desert, and you know that a desert is parched, very dry, arid. Sand was blowing in every direction, and you know the sand in the desert is very fine. So hardly you can see when it enters your mouth, your nostrils. It's so difficult to walk in the desert. Many of you know about that. So in this story also, this man was walking in the desert. his throat became dry. He felt as if his saliva also got drained. Every time he was trying to swallow, he felt as if his tongue and his mouth did not have even a drop of saliva. To an extent, we can satisfy our thirst by just swallowing the saliva. Of course, we are in the summer season, and to an extent, even if you don't have access to water, we manage like that. It's always advisable to carry water. This man did not have water with him. He was walking. So after his work, he was very tired. And when you are feeling thirsty, when you're hungry also, you may not have the energy to gear up and move forward. This is a very basic thing in life. He felt really distracted, very angry, frustrated. But then he thought, what is the use of getting frustrated? I need to quench my thirst. But no water body around, no river, no lake, nothing. He kept on walking. After some time, he almost collapsed. There were times when he fell to the ground and he even just dozed off. When I say dozed off, it doesn't mean that he slept for some time and took a nap in the hot, scorching, sweltering sun. No. He kept on moving forward. At that time, all of a sudden he heard splash, the splash of water. Imagine when you're hungry, if you get aroma of good food, you'll really feel hungry, all the more hungry because you're really hungry. It's not a part of greediness. Your taste buds will tickle you and you really want to just enjoy some food, even if it's not sumptuous, even if it's not very tasty, right? Similarly, he heard the splash of water. Wow, he had some hope. Splash of water, but still he thought to himself, am I hallucinating? Because I'm in the desert. Is it a mirage? Or am I just having some illusion in my mind? Is it created? No. He was not sure. So he kept walking. He cross-checked. Again he heard the splash. It was from a distance. In order to ensure the presence of water somewhere, he began walking. In fact, he started running. And then he saw a wall. When I say a wall, you may think it's made of bricks. No. This wall was made of sand, the fine sand, and it looked as if it was shaped by the stream of water or some tributaries or some water body. It was dry, partially it was wet. But a wall is always a wall. But when he got closer to the wall, as he drew nearer to the wall, he heard the splash. It was clearer, audible. It was like music to his ears. What more can you expect? Now he was sure that there was a water body because he heard the music of water. He tried peeping over the wall. He tried climbing the wall also, but it was a bit difficult. He was not able to see this water body. And what was the next step? To drink, to just sate his thirst, to quench his thirst and satisfy his parched tongue and his dried up, swollen body that had blisters all over. He waited for some time. He looked around. He didn't find anybody. Completely isolated, uninhabited. The music, the splash of water was calling him. It was calling him because he really wanted to drink water. So what he did, he took a scoop of sand and threw it across. Now this wall was not very high. If he climbs a bit, he will be able to see what's across the wall. So it was not very high, but he was very tired and he nearly collapsed again. So he took a scoop of sand and threw it across over the wall. And then the splash was strong. He heard it for a longer time. So maybe he heard some twigs and leaves falling and maybe it was some other sound, the gurgling stream, but now it was very clear. And that was intentionally done, man-made. Because as he threw the scoop of sand, the splash was louder and it lasted for long. He was very happy. Again, he tried the same thing. So you may think, why is this man polluting the water body? What is he trying to do? But that's not the point here. He was not able to drink the water. You need to understand that he was partially unconscious. He was not able to think for himself. See, when you're hungry, when you're thirsty, you will be distracted, you will not be able to focus. So he was out of focus. And driven by instincts, all he could do was scoop this sand, not intentionally, and listen to the splash again. It's not stealing, it's not polluting. He couldn't think, he did that. And finally, this splash motivated him. It gave him more hope. It's not enough that you have hope, you need to take some action. So as he scooped some sand from the ground, he felt as if he was drawing some water from the stream. So then he climbed that wall with much difficulty. So you may think that it's a half wall, not a very strong wall, it's made of sand, what's a big deal? But with a dry body, with all blisters, and when you really don't have even this much energy to climb or to walk, to take a few steps forward, it's very difficult to climb even the shortest wall. He tried with all his might, with all the energy that he had, he geared up. And then he came to the top. He looked over, and to his great disbelief and happiness, he was overjoyed when he saw the sweet gurgling stream. So even if it was not sweet, everything was sweet for him. For him, this was the best, it was like a haven. And then he was able to drink his fill. He drank. He just drank for a long time and quenched his thirst. And after some time, he took some water in his hand and splashed it. He splashed it on the face. He felt fresh. This is a very simple thing in life. You don't have to even live in a desert to understand the importance of water. Now comes the point. Earlier, I asked you to listen to a story, use the vocabulary words, and then make sentences. But now you're going to make some thoughts. Because when you go for an interview, when you speak to people, it's not enough that you know some words and some sentences. You should be able to articulate your thoughts. So the first point is, basic things in life, simple things in life actually keep you motivated, gives you hope. Motivation will not come just like that. This water here, you know that water can damage, it can create. Here you have the wall, it creates the wall, it damages also with flood. At the same time, it can also repair, it can hydrate. This man already knew the importance, the significance of water, the pivotal role played by water in everybody's life. It's not that he didn't know the value, but he understood that he should move forward without giving up. So from the simple things in life, when you already have the solution in front of you, you can learn many things. The second point is, he had hope. Of course, he knew the value of water. He knew that he did not carry a bottle of water or a bag of water with him, just like how people used to do in the olden days. But he took up the responsibility, though his body was tired, his mind was also draining, completely exasperated, exhausted, drained. He was not able to take even one step further. Even before hope comes action. He did not want to just leave himself to die in the desert. He had blisters all over. He was confused. Of course, you will find some water body somewhere. He had the hope. But what came before that? The action. To move forward, just keep moving forward. Even after attending interviews a couple of times, if you get rejected, there is something that you have to work on. Moving forward itself is very difficult for many people. Not because they are not consistent also. It's because they don't have the focus. You will have 100 reasons to distract yourself, to just stop yourself from articulating your thoughts. So here I'm not speaking about getting stuck while speaking. It's all about what you do to yourself. The third point is, this man had focus. I have to find some water. I have to quench my thirst. My body is falling apart. My mind is also falling apart. Only I can sustain myself. So here, he almost collapsed. He knew that his life was in danger zone. But did he remain there forever? At times you may be forced to fall, or you could be even trapped in the danger zone. But you have to find a way out. And even if you have this wall made of sand, bricks, cement, you have to find a way to climb or at least do something to see what's on the other side. Many of you don't see what's on the other side. You may just listen to the splash of water, enjoy. So here you have language. Wow, music to your ears. You listen to different people speaking in beautiful language. You may even come across people from villages speaking beautiful English. It's music to your ears. But is that enough? Should you not quench your thirst? You should also quench your thirst. And for that, you need to see what's beyond, what's across. In today's world, we speak about philosophy, we speak about motivation. Actually, people don't want all these things. Only if they reach a particular level, motivation and philosophy will help them. It's available in instant packets. I'm not sitting here and giving you all these guidelines from philosophy or psychology, but these are the practical steps that you can take. Guidelines. People are starving without guidelines. That's what I can understand from my learners. They know everything. Only thing is they don't look beyond. Only if you give the direction, look there, and there you have the guidelines. So this person chose to climb and then look beyond. Here he just looked over the wall. He heard the sound. That did not stop him. And then he saw the stream of gurgling water. Do you think he would have got some happiness while scooping the sand from the ground, that to the hot ground? It would have just burned his hand to an extent, because it was his need to quench his thirst. So you need to see what's beyond. Even if you have hundreds of channels, even if you take a lot of sessions, you would have been working on this language for some time. You may feel it's meaningless, worthless, waste of time. But after that, when you take the action, you get the energy to take the next step. That is, just scoop the sand that you have. The sand is very hot, the fingers having blisters already, but that is the action. When he scooped the sand, and while he was listening to the splash of water, he got the energy. He felt as if he was carrying water. He had water droplets in his palm. And that's so beautiful. So in life also, don't worry if you get rejected. You would have been working on interview skills. You would have been working on self-introduction. You would have been working with a company for 15 to 20 years and even learning this language for a long time. What are you lacking? You are lacking focus, patience. If you have reached this part of the video, great, because you have come all the way and listened to the whole thing. Sow the seeds of patience and taking some effort. Little effort is more than enough. You cannot sit and study for a long time. And then you cultivate, you reap the harvest. I know it's very easy to listen to all these things. I did these things. I myself worked on these aspects of language and facets of language. And that's why I'm giving it to you, and that's why I'm able to guide my learners. Yes, while taking the training sessions. Training sessions are different from the conversational sessions. Happy learning.